Hello, it's Sol with another video, brought to you by these many great and wonderful peoples. Please support the channel so I can keep giving you more of this and all things Warcraft. Today, we're doing a little more lore speculation, and we're revisiting the adventures of Saurfang, fugitive of the Horde. One of the most interesting questions about this character these days is, what is he up to while his people are embroiled in total war? So far, it's hard to tell if he's gone turncoat, if he intends to replace Sylvanas as war chief, or is running to Big Daddy Thrall for help. I've speculated on this very thing, and in a unique twist, I went as far as making up an entire dialogue between these two orcs. Today I'm doing it again, in a made-up dialogue between our favorite fugitive and none other than Nathanos Blightcaller. This may seem like a very unlikely encounter, it is, but imagine this. Saurfang believes in the Horde, there's no question about that. But how to go about saving it? That's something that isn't usually on his mind, and that's where he finds a dilemma. So in an act of hopeful optimism, he arranges a secret meeting with the Blightcaller to find out if there's any hope of appealing to the Banshee Queen without igniting another Horde insurrection. To Saurfang's surprise, the meeting is set. All he needs to do now is show up. Let's dive right in and have a listen.
Are you going to come in, or am I going to watch you scurry around all night? Overlord?
Blightcaller.
Say the words.
For the Dark Lady.
Loktar Ogar.
You're alone, as we agreed?
I can read words from a paper. Yes, I came alone. Believe me when I say we'd have holes in the both of us if I wasn't alone.
You don't trust your own Dark Rangers?
My Dark Rangers are extremely loyal, but they're more loyal to the Queen. Which reminds me, it is a shame that you technically ignored your own request.
What do you mean?
Ahem.
What?
I'm a ranger, have you forgotten? And he is a terrible scout. I found him an hour ago. I respect your caution, Saurfang, but I'll only allow one deception. Send your whelp away.
Go back to the boat. Make sure you are not followed.
Impressive little army, Saurfang. At this rate, your revolution will only have 2 casualties.
If the time comes, you will find that I am not the only one who wants the Horde to return to its former glory.
Glory, you say? Interesting word to describe the days of yesteryear.
Let's make this brief.
I agree. I assigned myself a mission to monitor Light's Hope for any undesired activity.
I am grateful you came out to meet me.
I lose my patience quickly, but I admit in these more recent times your absence is noticeable. Let's get started with your demands first.
I have no demands, but for you to consider what's at stake. The Horde is in danger of not just losing this war. This world will be in danger if Sylvanas continues going down this path.
You know, I thought you had eyes, Saurfang. The war chief is going down this path to finish a war she orchestrated but that you yourself began. If you hadn't suddenly grown old and frightened of what you wrought, then
Sylvanas would have slowly butchered the elves.
If she had to, she would. The Alliance could have fractured under the stress of what to do about them, and they'd collapse without us lifting another finger. Instead, they've gone berserk from some savage ritual, throwing their lives away anyway. Sylvanas wanted a systemic, total victory. You got what the mindless brute in you wanted. A war.
I am no stranger to battle, and have been in far more than you will see in your undeath. But this war is different. It's not for food or land. We just survived the Burning Legion. We could have retreated after learning we could not break the elves. That is where the Banshee Queen abandoned what honor she had left.
Oh, here we go. Prattling on your oh-so-flexible sense of honor.
Call it whatever you want, Blightcaller, but you cannot be so blind. Even you see where wrongs must be made right.
You're serious, aren't you? Honor? Justice? What a romantic sentiment. Oh yes, that's a redeeming quality in you. But it's you who are blind to think you could appeal to me, of all people, with that. My loyalty to Lady Sylvanas is joked about, openly. And you, traitor, came all this way thinking you'd get through to me? That there's a bone in this body capable of betraying my queen? I'm disappointed in you. Perhaps it's me that's blind. To think that you could be any less pitiful than you are now. You made a wise advisor, a warrior without equal, an effective general, an inspiration to the people. But you're no leader of the Horde, if that's what you're aiming for. You don't have what the others had. But I'll give you credit, because I think you know that.
Which is why I am here.
To settle for whatever you can get after showing your weaknesses. Shrewd. You could have just said so from the start. Let's speak plainly then. Explain your needs.
I cannot stop this war. Even if I cut you down right here and took Sylvanas' head tonight, the only thing that would assure is the end of the Horde under the Alliance's boots.
Very good, High Overlord. The Alliance must lose its will to continue. At this rate, they'll fight to the last man. And before that, the runt of Stormwind doesn't have what it takes to enforce a truce. This war is bound to end with their annihilation. Or ours. Speaking of him, during your imprisonment, what did he share with you?
He said nothing to me.
I see. A greater threat has always been reliable at forcing a tentative ceasefire. Something always comes along, eventually.
I agree, but if we wait, Sylvanas could end up being that greater threat.
It'd be Orgrimmar all over again.
It would not be desirable for anyone.
Not for me, no. Have you considered simply winning the war? It's a much less bloody path, for the Horde at least.
The Banshee is likely to butcher half the Alliance for spare parts, and use the rest for future harvest.
Do you see this face? This is how much I care.
You know the rest of the Horde will rise up, and I will be among them.
You truly expect the Horde will welcome you back, knowing your defection?
I would never betray the Horde. I seek to restore it to what it should be.
What, an Alliance internment camp? Wait!
What is it, Blightcaller?
You came to me for a reason. As ignorant as it is, I'll respect your sudden chivalry. But I agreed to this meeting because there's information I must know.
Ask your questions.
You say you don't intend to betray the Horde.
Never.
How did you escape Stormwind?
Through the sewers.
And then? I want details.
Very well. I headed east of the city gates, through southern Redridge, and towards the swamp.
And did you run into any resistance?
I didn't want to draw any attention, and avoided patrols. I was not followed.
No, you weren't followed. But from the reports I've received, it appears you were guided.
What?
We retrieved correspondence that their patrols were reassigned to different regions of Redridge, which carved a path for you to take. You were let through.
No, I have no knowledge of this.
That remains to be seen. Only a few know of your so-called escape from Stormwind. Among them, many believe you've switched sides, collaborating with the enemy while they let you go about your business unhindered.
Which is why you sent after me. You think me a deceiver, a traitor.
You're good at deceiving your foes on the battlefield, Saurfang, but you're a bad liar.
Then someone in the Alliance
Manipulated your movements and planted evidence they'd known we'd find to make it look like you're working with them, and we fell for it.
I should have known it was too easy to escape.
You did cut down a number of our elite forces.
They were not open for sharing information as we are now.
A minor detail. The deception would have worked if it wasn't for your invitation to talk. You might have saved your own life. So much for the Alliance and their moral high ground.
Then what is their purpose?
It's no deception that there's bad blood between us. I can only guess that they're trying to widen the rift. Maybe if they're lucky, you'll start another civil war where the victor wins a chance at a united alliance running them through.
This will not go unanswered.
You're in a bind, High Overlord. You're short on friends.
Am I?
For now, yes. But I'll do you a professional courtesy.
A favor. In exchange for what?
I don't know. The Alliance cut you loose in a gamble. So will I. I'm going to report these findings to the War Chief.
What?
Calm down. I will give Sylvanas a half-truth. That I found evidence of counterintelligence in an effort to turn us against each other. I'll present this in front of the other leaders to insulate you. She'll still try to put you down like a dog, but you'll be labeled as a rebel and not a traitor.
That would be helpful.
I suggest you be careful. If you go about this wrong, you'll risk destroying that which you're trying to save.
I'll keep that in mind. I will not forget this.
I will. Where will you head next?
I'm old, not senile.
Well, keep your pup groomed, Overlord.
Keep your queen close, Blightcaller, as you always do.